Over the past few weeks, you may have noticed that I've done a lot of videos in conjunction with the David Horowitz Freedom Center and StopK12Indoctrination.org. In each and every one of these videos, I brought up as a possible solution the Code of Ethics for K-12 educators. So in this video, I'm going to do a deep dive into what the K-12 Code of Ethics is and why it's so desperately needed. But first, let's get into some numbers. The United States puts more money into education than any other country on planet Earth. However, despite being number one in education spending, the United States is far from number one in results. According to the 2015 PISA test, the United States ranks 15th in reading, 38th in math, and 27th in science. I believe that one of the key reasons the United States education system is in decline is due to the fact that there was a fundamental transformation in what the education system was meant to do. In a free society, the education system should teach students how to think critically, not tell them what to think. Students should also be taught basic skills like reading and mathematics, but today those fundamental principles have been flipped completely on their head. While American students barely crack the top 40 in terms of math scores, Teach for America is training middle school teachers to incorporate social justice topics in math class. While America's not even in the top 10 in terms of reading scores, we have literature classes giving high school students white privilege quizzes. And it's not just reading and math classes that are pushing an agenda. In Ithaca, New York, a third grade class was shown an anti-Israeli propaganda film. This included a message delivered by a child saying, "We don't like that Israel kills us. Kills Gaza, kills Palestine." Maybe I'm old school, but I believe that when Americans spend top dollar on their education system, they should get top results. I believe that math should be taught in math class, not social justice. I believe that a literature class should be about reading, not about white privilege. And these are just some of the reasons why I back the Code of Ethics for K-12 educators. Because it enshrines into law that the classroom is a place for students to learn, not to be taught to believe a certain political ideology, which we're going to get into right now. Number 1, no more using classroom time to endorse or oppose any political candidate for any office at any level. Number 2, no more rallying your students in favor or against a particular piece of legislation. Number 3, the classroom is also not the place to advocate for a judicial decision one way or another. Number 4, you shouldn't push your students to believe or support or oppose any executive action. To me, this one's obvious. We can't have teachers like the one in Hampton, Georgia, who told her 6th graders, which are 12-year-olds by the way, that Donald Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again," was a call to bring back slavery. And then in an effort to convince her students that his immigration policy was bad, she decided it was appropriate to point to her white students and tell them that they were illegal immigrant killers. Number 5, if it's not related to the course material, it doesn't belong in the classroom. Number 6, we shouldn't have teachers campaigning against military recruiters working on the same campus. Number 7, keep your anti-law enforcement agenda out of the classroom. Number 8, no more trying to galvanize your class against one particular party with a wedge issue. And finally, number 9, no segregating your students or singling out particular racial groups based on their membership of that racial group. I know this sounds like a no-brainer, but it's actually not, with the whole white privilege thing being taught in our education system. Look, I think everything on the K-12 Code of Ethics is a no-brainer. Nobody's saying that teachers can't have political opinions. Everybody has political opinions. But there should be consequences for using the captive audience that is the classroom to promote your political agenda. Every single pillar of this legislation has dozens of stories behind it. Just recently, a teacher in a Hampton, Georgia school violated point 5 on this list. In a class about the history of Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, he decided it was appropriate to give his students a homework assignment where they would write letters to members of Congress advocating for gun control. I think it's completely reasonable for us to say that a class about the history of the Middle East, Africa, and Asia has nothing to do with domestic gun policy. Make no mistake, there is a movement afoot to train the next generation of activists from the first day of kindergarten to their last day of high school. If you care about these issues, visit StopK12Indoctrination.org. There you can learn more about exactly what's going on in our nation's public schools. You can also click the report tab and share your own story about K-12 indoctrination. This has been Sean Fitzgerald for the David Horowitz Freedom Center. Till next time.